We're back.
This week we're doing a video summary of our monthly Ben's Barometer. Some of you may have already read it. Some of you may like to have it delivered in video format. We aim to please. This week, or this month's topic, is the 5 million reasons the economists are wrong. Controversial, I know. And for those that are going to be outraged at the title that they've read without listening to the rest of the article, go ahead.
Hear us out.
We're just a few thoughts with regards to the new milestone New Zealand's hit, which is a population of 5 million. Congratulations.
Yeah, well done.
And why those 5 million people and demand on housing may just have an effect of keeping the housing market alive.
Yeah. Well, someone's going to be right and someone's going to be wrong, so only time will tell.
Quite interestingly, a friend of mine who's a journalist is dealing at the moment with economists, real estate agents and data providing companies, and she said it's outrageous trying to put a story together because everyone's contradicting ourselves. So here's us going ahead contradicting other people.
There was an article on Stuff where at the beginning they said, same article, the market's going to go down, and at the end of it they said the market's going really well. So there you go. Same person is even conflicted themselves.
So we'll just contribute to the confusion. Anyway, so 5 million people is a lot of people, and that, of course, is going to put pressure on our housing stock. So it's a widely known fact that supply has struggled to keep up with demand. Governments campaign on it every election year. It's a major issue for New Zealand, and that obviously pushes up house prices. And so at the time of doing the research for this particular article, there was only 491 properties, that's apartments and houses for sale in Wellington. Now, when we started 10 years ago, that would sit around the 1,500 mark. And then over the last 10 years, kind of within the last 3 years, it's gone down to being around the 750 mark. So to be at 491 houses is outrageously low. And clearly, that's why we're seeing all of our properties sell with multiple offers.
Yeah, and it was interesting about that population growth as well, is that the from 4 to 5 million was done in 17 years, which is a massive acceleration.
And the previous million was about 30
years, and then
so.
I think in the early 20th century, we're only just over 1 million. So
yeah, so if the housing's not keeping up, of course there's an issue with supply and demand. And further to exacerbate that issue is the fact that interest rates are incredibly low, as we've touched on, and everyone's kind of aware of. And so because they are so low, historically low, it's all of a sudden become it's cheaper to rent a house, especially in Wellington where rents are sky high.
Or cheaper to buy.
To own a house than it is to actually rent a house. So, I mean, that is why the first home buyers at our open homes are acutely aware of this fact, and they're just kind of fevering over getting into the market, even more so than they were before.
I mean, the open home we had in the weekend, like you see a whole change of buyers starting to come through. It's a whole new group of people that actually, we talked about the people coming to the market, or that were looking pre-lockdown. There's a whole new group of people coming out. And in fact, one first home property we had over 50 groups through. And a lot of those people haven't seen before. So they've just decided post a lockdown to get into the market, and that's due to the affordability.
And that's interesting because we actually anticipated during lockdown that we needed to shore up those buyer pools because the buyers were going to be scarce on the ground, and it's not the case. And they're not proven to be bargain hunters, are they?
No, they just want to buy a house, and they maybe have looked at it and thought, they've done the numbers and it's cheaper to pay a mortgage than pay the landlord. And that's also come into effect with the announcement of the loan to value. So dropping that has now got investors excited again as well, and thinking.
Well, but the investors are excited about more than that. They're excited about the interest rates and the serviceability of.
Yeah, but also they've got this equity in their homes. So what do I do with that equity? Well, I might as well go and put it into a house and see where I go from there, as opposed to just leaving it in the bank potentially. And that's why the loan to value has allowed people to leverage more off their property. I guess if the bank are willing to do that.
Yeah, so it was an interesting scenario last week. A friend rang you about a house they were looking to buy in Mount Maunganui. Now, for those of you aware of Bay of Plenty or the area, especially Mount Maunganui, it's had exceptional growth. A lot of growth from Auckland, people looking to buy houses there for holidays and even move to the regions. And so our friend that was looking at the property was concerned that property had doubled in the course of 5 years, and was it a good move to be investing in the area when possibly all the growth had already happened? So we looked at the serviceability of those loans, and very interesting, looked at historical interest rates. So the 2-year interest rate back in 2015 was 4.81, and right now, based on that special rate of 2.69, it's a break-even scenario to own the property at 500,000 on an interest-only term of 4.81 that it is now at 1 million on an interest-only term at 2.69.
Yeah.
$50 a week difference, but that would have been taken care of with the rent. So for those of you looking to invest, look at the serviceability, or even the people that are looking to buy a larger home, you can service a lot more. So if you can get the lending, and it's available to you, you can look at better quality real estate.
And we had something come through the other day. It was talking about through KiwiSaver investing, and like there's a KiwiSaver business that's going to do loans at about 2.5%. So I mean, and I think Westpac came out the other day and they're matching the 2.69. So maybe there's a bit of a mortgage war going on there as well. So it's 2.69 today. It could be 2.59 next week, and even then it starts to bring it level pegging.
Obviously, we've got the concern with the unemployment. To date, that has predominantly been, and I'm just kind of anecdotally here, the tourism, the retail, the hospitality. Now, while we are aware that there has been job losses across the board, those kind of industries are overrepresented. But what we know about those kind of industries are they are in the lower page kind of wage ranges and sometimes a little bit younger. So they may not be an accurate kind of cross section of the New Zealand population. And for that reason, there hasn't been those kind of forced sales, because it may just be those people don't own homes or they are not in the market to buy a home at the moment in that employment. So has possibly some reason that we haven't seen a drop off in the buyer pools to date. Maybe the flow on effect in those larger corporates, if they were doing mass redundancies, or when mass redundancies come, if they come down the track, maybe at that stage we might see those buyer pools drop off to a larger proportion than we're certainly not seeing it at the moment. So at some stage, and we're always saying at some stage, because we can only deal with now.
It's probably the biggest threat is for rentals, maybe, and people being the ability to actually pay their rent might be an issue with the unemployment as well. I think also, if you look back on it now, to solve problems, it appears that governments just end up printing a lot of money and chucking a lot of money into the economy, and that's obviously what New Zealand's done and around the world to keep things up. So all that money being chucked into the economy, and I think they talked about in the budget that potentially is 50 billion of new lending, or not new lending, sorry.
It's an easy number to divide 5 million by 50 billion, so it's about 10,000
just person. Dropping it into the economy. I mean, that's got to go somewhere. And
when people aren't getting the money in the bank, I mean, term deposit rates are so incredibly low, they look to assets to put that money.
And real estate could be one of those things. So,
and certainly when people have been a little bit burnt on KiwiSaver and things, they're a little bit gun shy of the, stock markets and things. So putting your money in bricks and mortar has always been a safe haven. We've kind of dipped our toe in the share market. We think that's a bit risky for now. And so that's, a lot of the things that we're seeing out there.
Yeah.
And then in terms of the Wellington market, wow.
Yeah, it's been crazy, really.
Wow. So we've told you 3 sales during lockdown, 10 sales post, all multi-offer. We're going to have another house sale today, and we've bought, we've got multiple interest just across the board. Yeah.
And it's not what we expected.
Not at all. Not at all.
We were, as Amanda mentioned before, we thought we'd be having to drive a lot more traffic into the properties. But
we honestly thought the market would be average at best.
Yeah.
It's beyond amazing. We've got election year on the horizon. That always slows the market in Wellington. We've obviously got winter. We've kind of doing, the market's playing catch up at the moment because of that delay period. So we're actually much busier than we normally are for this time of year. So it'll be interesting to see how long that lasts, if it lasts beyond July school holidays. But certainly at this stage it looks to be going so.
And we're not going to try and predict things. We're just going to, we're in it. We're just going to ride with it and see how everything works out.
If you want to talk about your own individual set of circumstances, give us a call. Always happy to help.
Yeah. All right. Thanks.
Nice to see you. Bye.